Hello everyone, in this video we will discuss about the project, maths project in class 11. So this is our first project and it is about the topic. So this is our topic of the project. Now this we will do in a couple of steps. The first page after the this topic, you will write this topic in one single page, and after that the first thing you will write is the acknowledgement. You will write the acknowledgement. The second page after that will be the index page. The third page will be an introduction about the quadratic equation and the quadratic expressions. You can write some historical background about the quadratic equations or any information that you think it's important to start this project, which is related to this quadratic expression and quadratic equations. So an introduction for that you can find it in the Google. So you make a Google search and find it. The fourth page will be on the objective of the project. So what is our objective in this case? The basic objective is that from this project we will learn how to draw the graph of the quadratic expressions, and this will give us more knowledge about the quadratic equations. The next thing is the use and application in daily life. Use and application. This also you can search from the Google. One of the application is there in the physics, that is called the projectile of the particle. If it starts with some point on the ground, then if you throw it with an acceleration, you will see that the projectile of that will be like a parabolic path, and you can find the projectile as a quadratic equation. So from that you can find the graph. By this project you can find the graph, and also you can find the maximum and maximum value, that is what should the highest point when it is projected, and the highest height the particle can achieve under this force, and all these things you can find. So this is the use, you can say it is the use and application in daily life about the of quadratic expressions. So this is the fifth topic. You will search more in Google and you can find lots of applications of quadratic equations. The next point, you will see that I have given it like this: key points to remember. From this, the basic explanation will start. So under this key point, we have some topics. Let me write it in the top because we don't have much space. So under this key point, key points to remember. While drawing the graph of the quadratic expression x square plus b plus c, I am not writing all the things. I am writing the points. These four things you have to remember while you are drawing the graph of the quadratic expression. So in the next pages, that is the topic explanation. Under explanation, we have to explain all these four topics with numbering 1, 2, 3. You will see in the first explanation we have given the information about the intercepts. So what is an intercept? Intercept means the point of intersection with the axis. Suppose you are having some quadratic expression like this, which has the graph like this. So here you can see this point is a point of intersection with the x-axis. This point is a point of intersection with the x-axis. And this point is a point of intersection with the y-axis. So for the quadratic expression, say this one is ax square plus bx plus c. These 3 points are called the point of intercepts with the axis, or only you can say it is the intercepts. So what is the definition of intercept? We have to write it here. So intercepts are the points on a graph which we obtain when the graph intersects the x-axis or the y-axis. That you have to write under intercepts. Next, it is given that x-intercept. So simply, when it is x-intercept, it means when it is intersecting the x-axis. And see, intersecting x-axis means at those points y will be 0. If you consider the points as x comma y, then that y at this point will be 0. Now usually we consider y as the expression x square plus bx plus c. Then y equal to 0 means this expression is 0. So clearly x-intercept means the roots of the quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So these are the roots of the quadratic expression. So this will be denoting the x-intercepts of the expression. And similarly, you see when you are saying about these points, at this point x will be 0. That means when you are saying about the y-intercept, then x-intercept will be 0. So that you will write here. That you will write as the y-intercept. So these things you have to do. You have to write first what is x-intercept and what is y-intercept, and under that how we are finding the x-intercept and how we are finding y-intercept. That 2 things you have to explain. So this is all about the intercepts. Suppose you are writing y-intercept. How you will write? So when you are at y-intercept, you will put x equals to 0. So if y is equals to ax square plus, you can say it is fx, and fx is ax square plus bx plus c, then for y-intercept we are putting x equals to 0, and that means y-intercept will be your f0, and that means it is simply a into 0 square plus b into 0 plus c. That means it is simply c. So you can say that y-intercept is the constant number. It's simply the constant in the expression. That is equals to c here. This part is the y-intercept of the quadratic expression. That you have to explain under y-intercept. And you will see in the next page I have given the heading as graphs and shown some of the graphs of the quadratic expressions. We have to do that also. We have to show 6 types of graphs. That means when it is intersecting both the axis and both all the axes, and it is downwards when it is intersecting both the axis and it is upwards. Similarly, when it is intersecting the, I can say when it is touching the x-axis, that means it's like this. we have to show when it is touching the x-axis like this. And last thing, when it is not touching the x-axis, like this one. And similarly, another will be like this. So in this one, see, there are three intercepts, two x-intercepts and one y-intercepts. Here also, there are two x-intercepts and one y-intercept. The difference is that here y-intercept is negative, here it is positive. Here you see there is only one x-intercept and only one y-intercept. So this is a different case. Here also there is only one x-intercept and one y-intercept. And here, see, it is only one y-intercept, no x-intercept. That means in these two cases, the roots of the equations are real and distinct. So roots are real and distinct. In these two cases, say it is 1 and it is 2. This one is 3, this one is 4. In 3 and 4, the roots are real and equal. And in 5 and 6, you can see only y-intercept is there. That means in this case, the roots are imaginary. That's why no x-intercepts are there. This one is also imaginary. So this is the thing. See, every time we are having we are having an x-intercept. Sorry, we are having a y-intercept. But sometimes we are having two x-intercepts, sometimes one intercept, and sometimes no x-intercepts. So these things you have to remember. That's why we have to show all these 6 graphs. Next we are going to the direction of opening. Okay. So now the direction of opening. The direction of opening means in which direction the graph is open. That suppose you are having this graph. See, it is open in the top, or you can say open upwards. And this graph, this is open at the bottom, or you can say open downwards. So this distinction we have to make from the equation. So from the equation, how we can decide whether the graph is open upwards and or open downwards. So for that thing is the direction of opening is there. You see, whenever the graph is open upwards, it is having a minimum value at some point. And when the graph is open downwards, it is having a maximum value at some point. So that thing we have to realize, that whenever you are saying that the graph is open upwards, it is having a minimum value, and when it is open downwards, it is having a maximum value. So with the help of that, we will try to explain how to realize whether the graph is open upwards or open downwards. So suppose we are taking the expression, the quadratic expression like this: ax squared plus bx plus c. Now we will try to express it in this form: a times x minus h whole square plus k, where h and k are two constant numbers. And if you can express it like this, then it will be helpful to find the maximum and minimum value. From that we can realize if it is maximum, then it is open downwards, and if it is minimum, then it is open upwards. So from that we will do. So let us try to explain. Let us try to express this expression in a whole square form. So for that we are taking this a common, and we are writing the expression like this. And now already we have seen in the proof of Sridharacharya formula that we can write the x square and the x part as this: x plus b by 2a whole square plus 4ac minus b square by 4a square. And if you multiply by a, then one of the a will cancel out and this will be the form. See, you can compare it with the expression a into x minus h whole square plus k. So if you compare it, you will get h equal to minus b by 2a and k equals to the whole expression 4ac minus b square by 4. So note this thing. Now from now we will express this thing as a into x minus h whole square plus k. Where h and k are having this one. Okay, so now we will consider two cases. Case 1 will be a is positive and in case 2 we will see a is negative. So if a is positive, what we are having? Since we can always write x minus h square is greater or equal to 0 because it is a whole square, perfect square term. So we can write the expression a into x minus h whole square is always positive. You can say it is greater or equal to 0. And then you can write x minus a into x minus h whole square plus k is greater or equal to k. So see, when a is greater than 0, we can realize that the whole expression, as we have seen that the left hand side of the inequality is the expression fx. So we can write here fx is greater or equals to k. So it will satisfy for all the values of x. So you can say for every value of x, fx is greater or equal to k. So every time fx is greater or equal to k. So if this point is k, suppose this line, this is y equal to k, then you can see the graph is always lying above the line y equals to k. So here this is satisfying the inequality. So basically fx greater or equals to k means k is the minimum value of fx. So we are having a minimum value when a is greater than 0. So from the picture we can correspond that when a is greater than 0, since it is having a minimum value, it will be open upwards. So our conclusion is that when a is greater than 0, then it is open upwards. So this is the thing. And similarly, for downward situation, we can see that when a is less than 0, we can realize it is having a maximum value, and that's why it will be open downwards. Let us see that thing. So it is case 2 where we are considering a to be less than 0, and since x minus h whole square is always greater or equal to 0, this will imply that a times x minus h whole square is less or equals to 0, because you are multiplying a positive and a negative term. So it will be less than 0. Now if you add k in both sides, you will get the expression like this. So now you can say fx is always less or equals to k. So suppose we are taking this line to be y equals to k. So then see, fx is less or equals to k is satisfied in this graph. So the graph of fx, this is y equals to fx, and it is always lying below the line y equals to k. That means fx is always less or equals to k. So it is saying that k is the maximum value of fx. And from this we can realize, since it is a maximum value, the k is the maximum value of the expression fx, so the graph will be downwards, open downwards. So in case of a less than 0, we can say the graph is open downwards. So this is the explanation why it is being open upwards when a is greater than 0, and why it is open downwards when a is less than 0. So this is the idea of direction of opening. If you can find this thing, if you can understand this thing, you can only seeing the coefficient of a, that is coefficient of x square, that is a, you can decide in which way the graph will be drawn. Either it is this or it is this. Either it is open upwards or it is open downwards. So every time if the equation fx, say this one, 2x squared minus x minus 3, if the expression is like this, here a is 2, that is greater than 0, so you can say the graph will be like this, open upwards. And if you see that fx is equal to say 3 minus 4x minus x square, then you will see that the value of a is minus 1, which is less than 0. In this case we are having a downward graph, like the second one, this one. So this is the way we explain the direction of opening, and with the help of this we can realize whether the graph is open upwards or open downwards. So let me make a note out of it. If the coefficient of x square, that is a, is positive, the graph is open upwards, or you can say it is having minimum value. And if the graph, if the coefficient of x square, that is a, is less than 0, then you can say it is the graph is open downwards, and in this case it will be having maximum value. So these 2 points we have to make under the direction of opening. So with this we can give 2 graphs which are having the 2 properties, either it is open upwards and open down, or it is open downwards. So 2 graphs will show here. One will be open upwards, and the second will be open downwards. These 2 examples we will give in the next page. And in each of the graphs, if this is the graph of the quadratic equation, we will always give the caption here, and in the caption we will write it like this: figure 1, or any number. Suppose I am showing the first figure, so it will be figure 1, fx equal to the equation of the expression. We will write it like this, say 3 minus 4x minus x square. Now after that, what we are showing here, if you are showing the intercepts, you will write the intercepts here, like suppose you are having the intercepts as x, alpha and beta, so the intercepts are minus 1 and 2, suppose, in some case. In this case, whatever the intercepts are, you will write it here, and then y-intercept will be, here it is 3, so you are writing it 3. Similarly, if you are giving the caption for some graph when about this thing, that is the direction of opening, you will write it like this. After the equation, you will write figure 1 or figure any number, fx equal to the expression, then you will write a is equals to, say, this expression, x minus 1 less than 0, open upwards. Sorry, it is open downwards. In this way, you will give the captions. For each graph, there should be a caption. Okay. So the next thing is the vertex. Okay. So for the vertex, what we have, the vertex is the highest point of the graph, or the lowest point of the graph. So suppose the graph is like this. So the minimum point here is called the vertex, and here the maximum point is called the vertex. So vertex is a point where the expression is having either the maximum value or the minimum value. So that how we can find. So we have already seen if the expression is like this, fx is equals to ax square plus bx plus c. First of all, we are considering the expression fx as a into x minus h whole square plus k. Now if this is the expression, we have already seen that if a is greater than 0, then fx is greater or equal to k. So we can say that the minimum value of fx is k. So you can say when it is the minimum value, that means at this point the value of fx, that means the height is k. So we have to find at which point, for which value of x we are having the maximum value. So see in this expression, if you put x equals to h, this whole square part will vanish and you are having the value as k. So you can say that f of h is equal to k, because it is a times h minus h whole square plus k. That means it is simply k. Now what we have taken as for what value we have taken for h? It was minus b by 2a. So you can say f of minus b by 2a actually is k. So you can see from here that the point which is having the minimum value of the graph is nothing but h comma k. So you can say the vertex will be h comma k. And in the same way, when it is having the minimum, when it is having the maximum value, that is when a is less than 0, you will see fx is less or equals to k. That means the highest point here will be having the y coordinate as k, and in the same way it is having the value k at the point h. So you can say the highest point will be h comma k. That is, the vertex will be h comma k. Okay. So if you can express the quadratic expression ax square plus bx plus c as a into x minus h whole square plus k, then you can realize the vertex will be h comma k. So this is the thing we have to realize here. So every time when we are trying to draw this expression, draw the graph of this expression, we have to express the thing fx as a into x minus h whole square plus k. So from that, first thing we will see, if a is less than 0, it is having a maximum value. The maximum value is k, and the vertex will be h comma k. And if a is greater than 0, then the minimum value is k, and the vertex will be h comma k. So one thing you note, the maximum value or the minimum value are basically having the same expression, that is k. The things changing there is the sign of a, that is the direction of opening is changing, but the expression is having the same magnitude for the maximum and the minimum values. Also, every time the vertex is also same, it is having the expression h comma k. So only change is the direction of opening, otherwise everything is same. So the next topic is the axis of symmetry. Now, as we have seen already, axis of symmetry means it is the line for which some graph remains the same. If you reflex the graph about that line. Suppose you are having a circle. If you reflex it about the diagonal, about the diameter, you will see it is the same figure. So in the same way, in case of parabola also, or the in case of the graph of the quadratic expression, suppose this is the graph of the quadratic expression. So about which line it will remain the same. If you take the reflection about some line, the line will be passing like this. Sorry. Say this is the point of minimum value. And the line will pass through this point like this. So this will be the line of symmetry, or you can say the axis of symmetry. So from the picture you can see it is passing through the point h, k, which is the vertex. So one point you remember, the axis of symmetry always pass through the vertex of the graph of the expression f(x) equal to ax square plus bx plus c. So if it is a line which is passing through the point hk and it is being parallel to the y-axis, then it will be nothing but the line x equals to h. So putting the value of h, you can say it is x equals to minus b by a. That means it is x plus b by 2a is equals to 0. So this is the equation of the axis of symmetry. So about this line, the picture will be symmetric. If you take the reflection, you will see about this line the picture is being symmetric. You rotate the picture, you rotate the graph about this line, you will see it will be remaining the same. Okay. So as we have seen previously, these four topics are there to remember. The first point is the intercepts, that means the x and y intercepts. How we can do that? How we can find the x intercept and y intercept? For x intercept, we are putting y equals to 0. So basically we are taking the equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. If we solve it, suppose we are getting the roots as alpha and beta, then these alpha and beta are the x intercept. And similarly, for the y-intercept, we are getting the constant term, because we will put x equals to 0 and then it will imply that y will be c. So that c will be our y-intercept. So basically it is the constant term in the expression ax square plus bx plus c. Next is the direction of opening. It says that if the equation is this, ax square plus bx plus c, say the expression is this, fx equals to ax square plus bx plus c, then if a is greater than 0, then it is open upwards, and if a is less than 0, then we have seen it is open downwards. Okay. So next is the vertex. Vertex is the highest point where we are getting, vertex is the point where we are getting the either the maximum value or the minimum value. And if you express the quadratic in this form, x minus h whole square plus k, then the vertex becomes h comma k. And finally, it is the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry means when you are expressing the quadratic in this form, a into x minus h whole square plus k, then the line x equals to h gives the axis of symmetry. Because the expression, the graph will be like this. Suppose the graph is like this, then you will see the line x equals to h will be here. This point here is h comma k. So clearly the x coordinate will be h, and the line passing through this vertex which is parallel to the y-axis. It's called the axis of symmetry, and it has the equation x equals to h, where we have the values h equal to minus b by 2a, k equals to 4ac minus b square by 4. So now let us draw a quadratic expression. Suppose we are taking the expression fx equal to, say, it's x square minus 5x plus 4. Okay. So the four things we have to do is these. Number one, we have to find the intercepts. So for x intercept, it is the roots. That means we have to solve this one. X square minus 5x plus 4 equals to 0. And if you solve it by any way, you will see that the roots are 1 and 4. So these are the x intercepts. Then we are coming to the y intercept. For y intercept, we have seen that it is the constant term in the expression. So here it will be 4. So all the intercepts we have found. The second topic is the direction of opening. See here, the expression is x square minus 5x plus 4. That means here a is 1, which is greater than 0. So we can say that the expression is open. The graph will be open upwards, and it will have a minimum value at the vertex. So the third thing is the vertex. So for this, we know that the vertex will be h comma k, where h is minus b by 2a. So from this equation, x square minus 5x plus 4, you can see the value of h is minus 5 by 2 into 1. That means it is 5 by 2. Is it? Yes, it is 5 by 2. And the value of k is 4ac minus b square by 4a. So if you put the values, you will see it is 4 times a into c. So let us see that. It's 4 into 1 into 4 minus 5 square divided by 4 times 1. So it's 14 minus 25. That means it is 9 by 4. Okay. And the last thing is the axis of symmetry. Let me do it here. It is enough to show it here. Axis of symmetry. Because in that part, in the left hand side, I will draw the graph. And we know that the axis of symmetry is x equals to h. As h is 5 by 2, we can say x equals to 5 by 2 is the axis of symmetry. It will go throughout the vertex and it will be parallel to the y-axis. So let us now draw the graph. We have all the information about the graph. Both the intercepts are positive, 1 and 4. So it is better to take the graph like this. So say this point is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the x-intercepts are these 2 points, 1 and 4. And the y-intercept is also 4. So you can realize that the graph will be like this. Now let us put one by one the values. So see, the next thing is direction of opening. That's why the graph is open upwards. So we have taken this. If a was negative, then the graph should look like. Then the y-intercept also will be some negative value. Say it will be here. say it is -4, and in that case we will have the graph like this. Okay. So in case of A is negative, the second thing will happen, but here A is positive, so we are taking the open upwards type. So the next thing is to put the vertex. See, it is 5/2 comma -9/4. So clearly 5/2 will be here and -9/4. -9/4 means it is around 2 point something. It's 2.25. So if this one is 1, this one is 2, then it will be somewhere here. Say we are taking the point here. So accordingly we will draw the graph. Okay. So see from here. So another thing we can draw here, it is the line x equals to 5/2, and that will be straight away passing through the vertex and parallel to the x-axis. So this is our vertex, 5/2 comma -9/4. So then see, first we are drawing the left side of the axis of symmetry. So it will look like this. So we are drawing this part a little bit. So this is the left hand side part of the axis of symmetry, and the right hand side will be the exactly the mirror image of this thing. So it will be like this. So with this thing we can properly draw the graph with all the correct informations. So this is all about the booklet that we have to do. So this is how we draw the graph of a quadratic expression. Now the things we have to conclude from here is the maximum or minimum value of the expression and the sign of the quadratic expression. So for that, let me give another explanation. So the next thing we see here is the sign of a quadratic expression. Let me show it first from the graph. Suppose this is the graph of a quadratic expression, then we can see this is one of the roots, say alpha, and this is one of the roots, say beta. Now you can see before alpha the expression is having positive values because it is above the x-axis. So we can say the value of the expression is positive in the left side of alpha. Similarly, in between alpha and beta you can see the values are coming in the negative part of the y-axis. That means it is below the x-axis. So it is having the negative values. That means in this case fx is less than 0. In this case fx was greater than 0. And also after beta again the values are becoming positive. It is again greater than 0. So you can see between the roots and before and after the roots the sign of the expression is changing. That's why it is important to find the sign of the expression. Okay. So for that we are again considering the expression fx as ax square plus bx plus c. Now suppose when we are considering the equation fx equals to 0, that is the usual equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Suppose we are finding the roots to be alpha and beta as we have seen, as we have denoted it. So then see, we can say x minus alpha and x minus beta are two factors of fx. Why? Because both alpha and beta, f of alpha and f of beta are 0. Because if you put, since alpha is a root, if you put x equals to alpha, the expression will be 0. So f alpha is 0. Similarly, if you put x equals to beta, then again since it is a root, so you can say it is 0. And since these are 0, we can say x minus alpha and x minus beta are the factors. Now since it is a quadratic expression, it must have maximum 2 factors. So that means the expression fx can be written like this. The a is giving the leading coefficient, so it will be there in the expression. So now again we have 2 cases because of a. So if a is greater than 0, then see, so we are taking alpha always less than beta. You can see it in the graph also. So if you take the values of x, it will be a sub case that the values of x are lying between the roots alpha and beta. Then you can see x minus alpha is positive and x minus beta is negative. So see the product, a is positive, x minus alpha is positive, x minus beta is negative. So basically we are having only one negative sign in the product, so we can say fx is positive. Sorry, fx is negative. So when you are taking x in between alpha and beta and a is positive, you can see the sign of fx will be less than 0, and it is shown in the picture also. Now suppose you are taking it is subcase 1. Now suppose in the subcase 2, you are considering x to be less than alpha, and since it is alpha is less than beta, so x is also less than beta. So here you can say x minus alpha is less than 0 and also x minus beta is less than 0. But a is positive, both the factors are giving negative values. So from here you can say fx is greater than 0 because it is the product of 2 negative factors. So you can say fx is less than 0. See, it is happening here. If you take x as this point, which is in the left side of alpha, that is alpha is greater than x, so you are getting the value of fx positive here. This we can see here. And similarly, if you consider the subcase 3, that is alpha less than beta and beta is less than x. So basically you are taking x in the right hand side of beta, which is greater than beta. So again you can see both the factors x minus alpha and x minus beta are being positive. So if both the factors are positive, then you can say this fx is the product of 3 positive terms. A is also positive and both the factors are positive. So you can say fx is also positive. So 3 subcases are there. When alpha is in between, when x is in between alpha and beta, when x is in the left side of beta, x is in the left side of alpha, and when x is in the right side of beta. So if a is greater than 0 and you are taking the root, taking the values of x in between the roots, then fx is becoming less than 0. And if you are taking x outside the roots, means in the left side of alpha or in the right side of beta, then you are getting positive values. So this is the case 1. And suppose in the case 2, we are getting this. In case 2, we will have a less than 0. Now fx is this product, a into x minus alpha, x minus beta. So again we will do 3 subcases. So then subcase 1, it is saying that alpha is less than x less than beta. Now see, the natures are changing here, because in this case alpha, x minus alpha is positive, but x minus beta is negative. Now since a is also negative, so fx is a product of 2 negative terms and 1 positive term, so it will give you positive sign. I'm showing it in the graph again also. Let me first cover all the cases. In subcase 2, suppose we are taking x to be in the left hand side of alpha. Then you can say x minus alpha is less than 0. X minus beta is also less than 0. Then in this case, a is negative and both the factors are also negative. So if x is the product of 3 negative factors, then you can say it is less than 0. And similarly, in subcase 3, if you take in the same way the value of x to be in the right hand side of beta, then again you can see x minus alpha is greater than 0, x minus beta is also greater than 0, but this time a is negative. That means you can write fx as the product of 2 positive terms and 1 negative term. So it will be less than 0. So the graph will look like this. Say this is the graph. Since a is less than 0, it is having a maximum point. Say this one is alpha and this one is beta. In between the roots, you are having some positive value. When you are outside the roots, say in the left side of alpha, then this fx is negative, and when you are in the right side of beta, then also it is having a negative sign. So that we have explained here. So let us give a recap. We will make a table of conditions. The table you can create like this. Sign of A will be your first column. Then range of x. Sign of fx. So these 3 columns will be there. So first case, a is greater than 0. Range of x, say the roots are, you are taking as alpha and beta. So if alpha is less than x less than beta, then you will see the sign of fx is negative. If you are taking x in the left side of alpha, or you are taking x in the right side of beta, then you are getting fx to be positive. So these are the 2 cases with a greater than 0. Similarly, if you take a less than 0, you will see when alpha is less than x and x is less than beta, then you will get the opposite nature, that is fx is greater than 0 in this case. And when you are taking x to be less than alpha or x to be greater than beta, then you will get the opposite nature, that is fx is less than 0. Let me show the graph here also. In this case, you will see something like this, that this point is alpha and this point is beta, and in between alpha and beta, the values of fx will be negative, and the outside of alpha and beta, that is in these 2 parts, you are getting some positive value. And here the graph is like this. So you take this point as alpha, this point as beta. So in between alpha and beta, you are getting some positive value, and outside alpha and beta, you can see the graph is in the negative part, so it is having some negative value. So this is a table of values of the expression in different cases. If you remember this, you can easily find the sign of the quadratic expression. And the next thing is the maximum and the minimum values. We have already done that. Let me just mention it once. Suppose we are taking ax square plus bx plus c as the expression, then we have seen that we can write it as x minus h whole square plus k, where we are taking h to be minus b by 2a and k to be 4ac minus b square by 4a. With these two values, we can see we can make two cases. Case 1 is a is greater than 0. In this case, we can see that fx will be always greater or equals to k. So in this case, we say that the minimum value we are obtaining here for the expression, and that minimum value is k. So basically 4ac minus b square by 4a is the minimum value of the expression, and it is obtained, it will be obtained when x equals to h, that is minus b by 2. And in the case 2, we have seen that when a is less than 0, we can show that if x is less or equals to k, and in that case we are saying that we are having the maximum value as k, then x is equals to h is equals to minus b by 2a. So these are the two situations when we are having the maximum and the minimum values. So let me see the previous graph, that is x square minus 5x plus 4. We have drawn the graph of that expression, and now we are going to find the sign of the quadratic expression and the maximum and minimum values of the expression. Okay, so these four things we have already done. We have found the intercepts to be 1 and 4, x-intercepts to be 1 and 4, and y-intercept to be 4. The direction of opening is open upwards because the coefficient a is positive. The vertex is h comma k. From this expression, if you take a equals to 1, b equals to minus 5, and c equal to 4, you will see that the values of h and k are these: 5 comma 2, 5 by 2 comma minus 9 by 4, and hence the axis of symmetry becomes x equals to 5 by 2. So we have drawn the graph like this. We have drawn the graph like this. There's 1 here and 4 here. So now so the y-intercept was 4. The graph was like this. It was symmetric about the line 5 by 2. So the vertex is here. It was 5 by 2 comma minus 9 by 4. So the things now here. From the graph you can see when you are taking the fifth thing, it is the sign of the expression. You can say sign of fx. When you are taking x between the roots, you can say it is less or equals to, then you can see the values are in the negative part of y-axis. So you can say that fx is less than 0, and in case 2, if you take either x is less than 1 or if you take x is greater than 4, then you will see that fx is positive in this box. So the sign of the expression is given like this. If it is between the roots 1 and 4, then the sign is positive. If it is outside the root, means it is in the left side of 1 or in the right side of 4, the expression is having a positive sign. And the final thing, that is number 6, is the maximum or minimum value. Here you can see that the value of a is positive. So you can say that fx has minimum value and you can see the minimum value is always occurring at the vertex. So since the vertex is 5 by 2 comma 9 minus 9 by 4, so you can say the minimum value of fx is equals to minus 9 by 4, and it is obtained at the point x equals to 5 by 2. So this 6 informations we can get from the graph. Sorry, these 4 informations we need to draw the graph, and from the graph we are having these 2 information, that is the sign of the expression and the maximum or the minimum value of the expression. So with this we have to do the project, we have to explain the things, and finally we have to show some examples. We have to show 4 different examples that will cover all the situations. So in each of the example we have to find all these 6 things. First 4 to draw the graph, and from the graph we have to conclude about the 5th and 6th thing. Now you see the manual I have given. I think there will not be any confusion after watching this video about the project. So you see, if you have any confusion, you can ask me.